Hi, my name is Aaron, and for starters, I'd like to apologize for the audio in this video. I've had a little trouble with camstudio recorder, so moving on. I'm from Toledo, Ohio, and for my week one peer review lesson, I've chosen timbre as my focus, since this is one of the more important aspects of sound and one of the biggest concepts that I've taken away from my digital sound design course from Coursera. Um, Timbre is really what differentiates sounds. For instance, if you were to play an antique violin and compare it to one that was mass manufactured, even if you played the same note the same way with the same bow and strings, you would get a different sound. And the reason for that is that the materials that go into the construction of the violin body are going to be different and produce different frequencies as the vibrations travel over it. So uh, every sound has what's called a fundamental frequency. Now, the fundamental frequency is going to be the lowest and loudest sound that you're hearing, or in the case of a sine wave, it's going to be the only sound you're hearing. Um, But with other sounds, there are what's called harmonic overtones, which are pretty much whole number multiples of the fundamental frequency. So if your fundamental frequency was, say, 20 hertz, your first overtone should be 2 times 20, 40 hertz. A third should be um, sorry, I lost my train of thought. 20 times 3, 60 hertz, and so on and so forth. The harmonic overtones occur at different amplitudes and really are what color the sound, make it different. Um, so I'm going to give you a brief example from a synthesis point of view, anyway, um, as to how the partials color the sound. So here we have just a basic sine wave. Turn the sine to top. And so what you're going to be hearing is a sine wave. Hopefully it's not too loud or too shitty. Um, it's just, one sound, no real additional frequencies. And then you go, let's listen to a triangle type wave. It's similar to a sine wave in shape, but it also includes odd numbered partials with a particular relationship to the actual fundamental. And then we have square wave, or what's referred to as a pulse wave, depending on its shape. Um, that also includes odd numbered partials, but it's a little different in the way that they relate um, as far as the amplitude is concerned. And then you have something like a sawtooth, which includes all of the partials, even and odd, so you get a little bit more of a fuller sound than the other ones. So just, as another little example here, we have the saw, and we have the sine. Here's the sine again. Nothing really to it, just the one sound. And if you listen closely to the saw, you can kind of hear how it's got a broader sort of sound to it. And yeah, that's pretty much from at least a synthesis point of view, the difference as presented in timbre. But here is a shot of guitar being played, and I'm running this through Sonic Visualizer. Excuse me. And it is a sound analysis program. I think it technically qualifies as a DAW, but it has a feature for spectrogram, and that's what I ran here. And So I'm just going to go ahead and listen to this real quick, and you can look here. This is the frequency going up on the y-axis, and this is the time on the x-axis, and the actual amplitude of the sound that you're hearing is going to be dictated by the color. So the red is going to be the higher amplitude, and the green is going to be a little bit less. I think if we were to spread it out, maybe can't quite do that. No, anyways. You can see as the notes are played, where it changes, where the fundamental changes, how the different overtones change. Sorry, I lost my train of thought again. Now this all kind of ties in with what the professor was saying about microphones, and that if you don't have a particular quality one, or if you don't have one with the appropriate frequency response, you won't quite capture the timbre or the true color of the sound that you're after. And so it's really important, not just with microphones, but with any equipment that you get, to make sure that you have something that will appropriately transmit the audio data to whatever you're going to be sending it through, so that way you get the desired result. Because there's a lot more to sound than just the pitch. I think that's about it. In summary, the concept of timbre affects and distinguishes all instruments, voices, and other sound production from one another. That's really just pretty much what classifies a sound as what it is. As far as what I used in here, in this video, I used Ableton and Strobe, which are not free software. But there are plenty of digital audio workstations out there that are, and plenty of plugins to boot, so you can go and play with this stuff yourself. There's actually a site called soundation.com, I believe it is, but I've had some trouble logging into it of late, so that may not be the best idea. But you can always go with something like a free downloadable, DAW. As far as this program right here, Sonic Visualizer, Sonic Visualizer. It is free, and I'm pretty sure it's cross-platform, so you can go ahead and use it on Windows, Mac, or Linux. And it's a pretty good way to actually get a look at sounds and see how they differ. So feel free to download that and play with it. Yeah, thanks for watching my video. Hope I didn't waste too much of your time, and speaking of time, it's now 7:47 a.m., so good luck.